Morning everybody. Well, today you find me on the beautiful Durham Heritage Coast. It's a wonderful coastline. It used to be sort of heavily industrialized. This place where I'm standing here there was millions and millions of tons worth of coal waste. Was just tipped on over the cliffs here into the sea, and then bulldozers just pushed it out when the tides were low. And that was quite a few years ago, and then when all the pits shut round here, and then nature slowly claimed it back, and local organisations and individuals have helped maintain it. It's now a wonderful place for tourism and for people to come and enjoy walking and the wildlife here. But anyway, I am in a little bit of a flap as well, because I'm waiting for the sun to come up and I haven't found a composition yet, so that's my next task. I don't know whether you can see ahead, but there's some caves here. The tide is just on its way out, and low tide is about 9 o'clock I think, and we're here around about 7, just before sunrise. This is my first composition. As you can just see there's a rock in front, and then it's just a straightforward view out to sea, and it's just going to be a fairly standard shot just to get me started. Yeah, that's all. So yeah, F10, so I've got a fairly good depth of field, although I don't need much because it's just obviously beyond these rocks here. You're just looking out to sea. There's nothing to focus on other than the clouds. So 06 ND filter on, and it's a sharp edged ND filter because the horizon's very flat, so it's easy to use. So yes, first shot coming up. Okay, so that's just a fairly standard shot, that. Just gonna have a little look around. The sun's coming up right behind the cloud, as typical. But I have to say I'm a little bit nervous because I hate working where there's cliffs, for obvious reasons. Always a bit of a worry, that. But there's a cave here, I think. I'll maybe get some shots through there. But again, I'll have to be careful. The tide is going out, so I'm not too worried, but yeah. So anyway, that's the first shot in the bag, so we'll move on. So here's the next shot. Got these lovely boulders here, 2 boulders just lit by the sun, and then the lead out and then into the sea. So the whole of the interest in this shot is going to be on the foreground. Make a bit of a micro adjustment there, just to try a slightly different grip. What I've done as well, I've chosen a really small aperture between sort of f16 and f18, just so I've got a little bit of a sunburst. Yeah, I absolutely love that shot. So in this shot I've got 13-second exposure, and I've got a I think it's a 6-stop ND filter. So it's a complete ND filter, and then I've got a 0.6 graduated ND in front of it, just to bring this sky down a little bit, because it's just a little bit too bright compared to the foreground, which seems to be working quite well. and I'm using these 3 boulders in the line, diagonal line across the frame, and they're being used as the foreground interest. So yeah, I quite like that shot. So yeah, I'm going to move on again. As ever, it's a little bit rushed with me, but it's simply because the light's just about perfect and I want to be everywhere at once. So at the moment I'm just having to be patient. There's not many waves coming in, so I'm just waiting, and what I'm hoping to do, got a long exposure of about 8 seconds, and what I'm hoping is the water will come in close to this boulder here that's in front, and hopefully I'll have a nice sort of smooth water behind, so there'll be no distractions within the frame, so just the rocks are going to stand out. So it's just a case of being patient now. The next shot's a little bit on the risky side. I'm going to go up to the edge here where the water's coming in, and by risky I mean just wet feet, but I think it'll make quite a nice shot. There's no point shooting at the sun now, so I'm just going to use the way the sun's lighting these rocks up as the foreground. So let's see. One. Yeah, we're just out, we're alright. Only just. You know what, I quite like that shot. Yeah, I'll pop it up now. So in this shot I quite like the cave here, and then the water is just running in here in a line every now and again, and I think it might make a pleasing shot. It might be slightly unbalanced on the right hand side, but no, I quite like that. So that's going to be my next shot. You see there's a wave coming in on the horizon there, so that, oh, now I missed that typically, but at least it'll come a fair way in, and it should create a good shot, we hope. Okay, so that was 6 seconds, and yes, that's quite a pleasing shot, that. So the idea for this picture is got a boulder there and a boulder there, and I've left a gap between the cave wall and that boulder. If the boulder was into the cave wall, then it would spoil the composition. And that's it on the back of the camera, hope you can see there. So this is all deep shadow, and then just some nice light just on this right hand side. F14, 2.5 seconds, just waiting for a wave to come. Here it is now. Right, so that was an easy shot, that. What we're going to do next, we're going to continue around the coast a little bit, and fingers crossed I think we can get around here, we can get onto another beach called the Chemical Beach. It's a beach that I photographed probably about this time last year. We photographed some old Chaldron wagon wheels. So yeah, gonna head round there now and see what there is to photograph. So we're at low tide now, or thereabouts, so we've got, should be safe enough to go around. Love this coastline, it's absolutely amazing, it really is. You know, quite apart from the beauty of the coastline, the sight of this old industrial coastline with some of the old industrial debris just still left behind, and nature, the sea is just softening the effects of it, and it's fascinating really, especially considering nearly all of this here on these cliffs. You can see a little dark area just straight ahead. That's old coal, spoiled from the old mine that was here. I think it shut in the 90s, and you know, these cliffs, you couldn't see them because the spoil was as high as the cliffs. It's just hard to get your head around, and the sea's cleaned it up. It's fascinating. It just shows nature when we go. But if we were to disappear, then it wouldn't be long before there was no sign of us. This is a chemical beach. This is some of the industrial waste that's left behind. See some old conveyor belts there. And it's a mixture of waste, it's not just coal waste. A lot of this waste you see come down here is coal waste, but then there's other stuff that looks to be from furnaces. There was glass making here. It's known as a chemical beach because there was a chemical works here as well. But you can see, because all this is eroded out of the cliffs in the storms. Yeah. And nature is slowly claiming it back. When you look the opposite way, you would never know this was a post-industrial landscape. But it does give you a little bit of hope. I know it sounds really odd, but certainly for me it gives that little bit of hope of, you know, that all the destruction that us humans do if you just leave nature to its own devices, it will do its thing. So I'm just making my way back to the car along this beach we know as the Chemical Beach, and I've just spotted these all sort of, I don't know what they are, whether the groins or where the conveyor belts have run, and then you've got the pillar of rock there, and I just quite like the composition of, you can see that there, but of the wooden groins in front. So that's my next shot really. I'm just going to tweak a little bit to about there, and I don't know that you can see, but what I've done, I've left a gap here so that the pillar, the rock pillar itself, is in that gap, so none of it's cut off by these wooden groins. It just makes for a more pleasing composition. Alright, so I'm just doing a second shot now. Again, these groins in it, the spire of rock, and then these beautiful coloured boulders underneath. You know, all a mixture of natural rock and industrial waste. And it just, I don't know, something I like about that. I mean, the light's really harsh now. It's not the best time of day. No, apologies for the aircraft going over. Never mind. So yes, this is going to be my next shot. Well folks, that's it, I'm afraid. We've had a good morning. Hopefully I've shown you some nice pictures, hope so. Yeah, brilliant morning. So until the next time.